Okay, let's try to apply all this knowledge we got now, the modes, the arpeggios, the passing tones, into a very common rock progression. I would suggest E minor, C major. That's a very common chord progression, and normally a rock guitar player would play what? Would play pentatonic. It sounds great. You could play Aeolian mode, natural scale, natural minor, right? Sounds great. You could play triads. But how could you go beyond that and play something more sophisticated? And the idea here would be using the modes that you know, and the arpeggios and the passing tones. So for instance, for the E minor, you could use the Dorian mode, or the Frisian mode, or the harmonic minor, the melodic minor. For the C major, you could use Mixolydian, Lydian, Ionian, right? So let's take as an example the Dorian mode here. So E minor with the 13th. Okay, remember the arpeggios. It's gonna be E minor, G major 7, and B minor. So with that, you have already the 7 notes of the Dorian mode. When you go to the C major and choose the play a Mixolydian mode, and you're gonna have C dominant. Remember, from the 3rd of the dominant, you have a half diminished. And then from the 5th, a minor chord. Okay, so now you're gonna find that you have 2 different scales to play, and it's gonna be more fun, because now we have, like, for instance, E minor here. When you go to C major, the E minor changes to E half diminished. Or you can play G major when it's playing E minor, and when it changes for C major, the G major turns to be G minor. So what's gonna happen is, like, you're gonna be playing G major arpeggio when you have the chord changes, G minor. So it goes like this. You can hear the harmony changing. So let's play with the playback now and see what we can do with that. that's the Lydian mode, right? So now I'm gonna take another chord progression that I took from one of my songs, Escaping song. And it goes just like that. It's like E minor, C major as well, right? But then I add B minor and G major. That was the basic idea from the beginning. It's a really standard rock chord progression. So how to get out of that, right? So I was just thinking, why not trying to play a Lydian mode for every different chord? So you're gonna have E, Lydian, right? And then the C major, C Lydian as well. And the B minor turn to B, B Lydian. And the G major, G Lydian. I hope you agree with me that it sounds much more interesting than only right? Okay, but then we have a problem. Each chord is a different scale, so we have to practice that, right? So again, you have E Lydian scale, C Lydian scale, B Lydian scale, G Lydian scale. And how to practice that in a way that you're gonna be like soloing with, freely in the whole neck. So one of the exercises that I like to do is playing the tonic of each chord and playing the scale in one string, right? So for instance, the E Lydian would be okay, that's E Lydian. Then the C Lydian. You don't need to play the C note, but it helps to, to hear the notes, to hear the scale. Because here it is an exercise that you don't need to play fast, just to get the notes and hear the sound. Okay? And then now the B Lydian. So take that as an exercise and play like this. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the other strings as well. string. Then you start feeling like free and playing all over the neck. Like. You see, you can hear the harmony even if you don't have the chords, you don't have the backing track. It's always very important to play by yourself and hear the harmony in your head, but you don't need to play the chords, right? So just improvise over the scale and think in the harmony just in your head. And then you can use also the arpeggios concept, doing like E major, the leading from the third is gonna be D sharp minor, right? And B major 7. When you change to C major, C major, E minor, G major 7. Then B major, D sharp minor, F sharp major 7. And then the G major, Legion, B minor, G major 7. Okay, so we have a lot of arpeggios to combine then, and the scales per string, and now it's just a matter of playing with the backing track and practicing. Okay, it's a bit hard, I know, it takes time, but after that you're prepared to play anything. Let's try with the backing track. Okay, now that we started from rock to fusion, playing a very standard progression for rock and with mixed with the different modes, playing the Legion modes, what about taking a very common jazz progression, which is the 2-5-1, and play like a rock guitar player would play. So in this 2-5-1 progression, you can use all the arpeggios that you know already. All right, you can start doing the arpeggios from the third, from the fifth, and also you can start changing the shapes and play more like a rock guitar player would play, with string skipping, for instance. The E minor, so root, third, seventh, root, fifth, seventh, and the root here. The A dominant, so I'm playing like 2 notes per string, right? So the root, third, seventh, root, flat fifth, seventh. And then the D major 7. D major 7 with root, third, major 7, root, fifth, major 7. So it would be like this. So then you just improvise over this idea. Create your own patterns for that. You can also add some tapping if you want. For the E minor. Right? So like the G major. So we can play all 3 arpeggios with tapping, with string skipping. We can play like these arpeggios that we know already with alternate picking or with sweep picking. So like I'm using all the techniques for this 2-5-1 progression. Sounds really jazz, isn't it? So like I really think it's important to get this other kinds of progressions, like 2-5-1 for major chord, 2-5-1 for minor chord. You know, try to get like Charlie Parker or Miles Davis songs, George Benson, or you name it, all the jazz artists. You have a lot of very interesting progressions. And if you don't like jazz, if you don't want to play with the clean sound, just get this progression and try to play with all this, you know, shred licks, you know, tapping and distortion and sweep picking, string skipping. Use all that in these harmonies. So because when you go back to the rock harmonies, go back to the rock progressions, they're gonna sound very, very easy for you. So that it worked for me. So I think for you guys, of course, it's gonna work as well, because you're gonna be fast with your fingers, and your brain is going to be fast as well. So that's very important. So let's play now with the backing track, the 2-5-1 progression, and see how it sounds. Now I'm going to show a little variation for this 2-5-1, very common as well. 2, instead of the 5, we use this substitution. The E flat dominant chord, G major 7. And here you can use again the arpeggios. Then this chord here, the dominants, the major 3rd, minor 7, and the D major 7 again. Okay, let's see how it sounds with the playback. Okay, this last section here, I'm assuming you know the triads, open triads, arpeggios, the modes, passing tones, get used to the 7th, 9th, 11th, 13th, all these extensions for the chord. So now it's time to play all these notes together. I mean, playing the chords with all these notes and learning where the notes are and how they sound. So a good exercise for that is playing the C major scale, okay, C major scale, and then the C major chord, we're gonna find the higher note is gonna be the note of the scale. So we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C again, right? There's many different ways of doing that. I'm just showing one of the ways. All right, like this with the sixth, or with this major seven, like this. So then you have the C on the melody, right? Now the ninth, the D on the melody. Then the third, the melody. Can do like this as well. Having the third octave, doubling the third or fifth. Now the fourth, the F. Can do like this with majors as well. D on the melody. Can be like this also. 13th now. The seventh here. Major seventh. Octaves. And keep going. Try to find your own way of doing this chord. Okay? After the C major scale, of course, you have to practice the other modes. So we have the leading mode, which is almost the same. You just change the F to F sharp. So now you have the leading mode. All the chords are the same. That's very, very important to know because you can hear the notes in the interval. Now the dominant scale as well, minor 7. So the chord has to have the minor 7, okay? C dominant chord. Now the scale and the melody. Okay, and that goes also for the minor chords. Dorian. The Dorian is just like the Mixolydian mode, but with the minor third. So you have to play a minor chord here, the minor third, seventh, minor. Okay, so the melody, C, D, E flat, minor third, fourth, fifth, the Dorian mode, 13th, the Aeolian mode would be here, flat 13th, that's the only difference. Okay, and then the Locrian mode as well, right? Flat 5. Flat 5 again. That's a little bit more complicated, but I know you can get it, you know. Slowly. Choose one scale per day and just work on that. And after that you can get like the 2-5-1 progression, for instance, and play with this. Play the melody, play this concept with that. Okay, see? E minor, the Dorian scale, and then A dominant, G major, So that's the way of, playing by your own, doing a real solo guitar with no drums, no bass, nobody doing the harmony. It's only you. You can do the harmony, you can do the bass, you can do the melody. If you study that really hard, you can do whatever you want. You can play any song alone, the real solo thing. So let's get this chord melody concept and put that into the 2-5-1 progression, all right? So we have the E minor, A dominant, G major 7. So you could do it like this. E minor, E minor Dorian, right? With the 13th. So just the same scale that we did with the C minor. And then A dominant. Okay, and then G major 7. Okay, I'm playing the G major Lydian. Just using the same shapes I just showed the C major, so just like one step up and remember, you can even mix the open triads. I just did that. Now for this last section, I'm gonna get the escaping chord progression. Remember the E Lydian, C Lydian, B Lydian, and G Lydian. So now let's practice our chord melody into this progression. So E, okay, the E Lydian, then the C Lydian, B Lydian, G Lydian. It's really fun trying to find your own chords as well, So then you can mix all together.